Welcome back to This Week in Gaming, the show where I recap everything that I talked about in this last week when it comes to gaming news in case you missed it. Let's talk about it. Starting with Stop Killing Games getting reported to the EU. You see, movements like this have to report all of their finances, and the EU got a report from an anonymous source that Ross was actually getting paid over 60,000 euros a year for his services, even though he's been volunteering, so it's a blatant lie. And next, how Microsoft was inhumane with their layoffs according to former ZeniMax employees. Former ZeniMax employees spoke out about how they were treated inhumanely because sometimes they had no idea they were getting let go until they realized that they were disconnected from all the internal chat systems that they had. And moving on to how Ubisoft is trying to tell everybody that the reason there's microtransactions is because we love it. Ubisoft recently had one of their investor meetings where they were clarifying about their plans, and one of the things they talked about is microtransactions in single-player games. And they made sure to clarify that the reason there are microtransactions in single-player games is because we like them and we're asking for them to have fun. And now how Microsoft is backtracking and lowering prices on Xbox games. Microsoft gave an update on Outer Worlds 2, and in that update they announced that the game is only going to cost $69.99. But even though everybody takes this as proof that they're going to now lower their prices forever, I still find it really suspicious that they mentioned the holiday season. But who knows, maybe they are backtracking. And now with Sony, their latest update makes everybody believe that the handheld is a lot closer than we think. And one of the beta updates that isn't active quite yet is a low power setting for the PS5. But it seems suspicious that this is for a home console, and people are wondering if this is actually for a handheld, and if they're referring to it as a PS5 because the handheld will basically just play PS5 games. And now on to Nintendo with their Pokemon Presents. The latest Pokemon Presents had a lot of information. They talked about shows and mobile games and the full-fledged games. And even though there was a lot of information for people to consume, nothing was really exciting. And a lot of comments were saying that this could have just been an email instead of a Pokemon Presents. And then an update with Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment has made everybody believe that the Direct is definitely next week. There are plenty of games that are coming out for the Switch 2 that have zero release dates, but recently Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment got a rating in Brazil. Since we don't have a launch date for this game, everybody assumes that within the next week or so, we are going to get a Direct where they are going to give us a release date for this game. And a Microsoft rumor also fans the flames for this Direct actually happening next week, because another industry expert spoke out about how Microsoft is now working on ports for the PS5 and the Switch 2. But the Switch 2 news is what got people really excited, because people started dreaming about what Xbox games would be on the Switch 2 now that it's a much more capable console, and people are hoping that pretty much anything that Microsoft makes will eventually make its way to the Switch 2. And lastly, the UK passed its Online Safety Act, which has a lot of indie developers worried. The Online Safety Act is UK legislation that is focused on protecting children from being exposed to adult content. But a lot of experts pointed out that this also includes video games, because a lot of video games that have online features connect two different users together. And these experts point out that it's going to make it really hard for indie developers because it risks them getting bankrupt, and it may push them away from making video games at all. And that's the TLDR of everything that I covered this week in gaming. If you want to find out more details, be sure to watch the videos from the past, and if you like finding out about video game fun facts and gaming news, make sure you hit that follow button. I'll see you next time.